Come on in. Come on in.
Come on in. Come on in. Come on
in. Happy Sunday, guys. Happy Sunday. Happy Memorial Day weekend. I told you we were going live special tonight. We were just live on TikTok watching the Real Housewives of Atlanta's latest episode together. I wasn't sure if there was going to be a new episode this week. I did look it up and it's like, okay, there is a new episode. All right. I said, you guys don't have to work tomorrow, so we can have a conversation now. Shout out to everyone that's in the room. I appreciate you all taking time out of your Memorial Day weekend, all right, to be with us to talk about this episode. If you had to rate this episode of Real Housewives of Atlanta between 1 and 10, how would you rate it? I did not love this episode because we're on a trip. This is like the first group trip, and we're already missing Drew, and we're missing Candy. Candy's away. She's booked and busy. Drew is sick. Apparently, people on this sprinter are sick too. Later on in the episode, you can literally hear the sickness in Kenya's voice, and I'm like, oh. And I'm a little bit of a germaphobe. I'm not like Howie Mandel germaphobe, but when I start seeing people coughing, I'm like, oh shoot. I can't rate this episode above a 7. I have to probably rate this probably like a 6, 6.5. It wasn't their best episode. You already know Carlos King is dragging it for not being good. But honestly, though, I still enjoyed this episode more than what I watched on Love and Marriage Huntsville or Bell Collective this week. Who else? Who else? I'm not going to lie. So this sort of movie says a negative 2.0. Come on. It wasn't that bad. But it wasn't that great either. We're going to talk about it. This is our Real Housewives of Atlanta recap. Like the video. It's an easy and free way of supporting not just my channel, but your channel and other channels as well. They will start to pop up on your Explorer page. All of that. Go grab a snack. Go grab some water. I think I did. Look. Say hello to our King's Guards. We cannot do this without them. And shout out to our members. This is a members only live chat. We do this at least once a month. And members, we will be doing a separate live video feed just for our senior royals, and maybe we'll make it available for our royal court members as well. There are perks to the different levels and tiers that we have for a membership. So to become a member, head on over to TheKempire.com/join. That's enough vamping for me. Let's get into a countdown and let's get into this recap.
Baby, baby, won't you listen to me? I got that flavor. I know you're dying to feed. I ain't no dancer, just got some hip in my feet. Now throw your hands up. Ooh, you bring the lighter, I got the fuse. You make a fire, I'll add the fuel. Follow my lead, just watch your shoes. Gotta turn the heat up to get this cool.
Kenya more hair care. Kenya more hair care. Well, Kenya Moore this is her episode. And I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing, but this episode really is centralized around her and this trip to Birmingham, Alabama. Because she's going to do a special performance. She didn't tell the group what the special performance is going to include. All of these little secrets are happening, including this charity event that was... Was this charity event better than Homeless Not Toothless? Oh. So at the top of this episode, we have Monyetta and Kenya practicing this routine that she's going to do. Kenya says she can't she's embarrassed by what happened at BravoCon. I completely forgot that Kenya fell at BravoCon. Okay? I completely forgot. But she reminds us in this scene. So she's practicing and she's coming up with, different things that she wants to do. I can't wait to see the performance. But based off the preview for next week, do we get to see the performance? Because it seems like Kenya is sick and she might not be able to give us that performance. I do want to hear Kenya Moore Hair Care chant with a big marching band. She's trying to get her Beyonce on. I want to see it. But she sounded really sick at the end of this episode. So they're practicing, but Roy, the new man in Kenya's life, allegedly, FaceTimes Monyetta because that's who hooked them up. So a lot of you are like, is this a real relationship? We don't know. But Kenya says in her confessional, the Yelp reviews are good. The sex is great. And she says she's done with waiting on this divorce. She's in the longest divorce in Bravo history. No, that is Bethany Frankel. How long did it take Bethany Frankel to get divorced? Even when we thought that her divorce was finalized, then we found out it wasn't finalized. No, Bethany Frankel will go down as the longest divorce in Bravo history that we know of. But I think Kenya's divorce probably will be finalized this year. I think so. So she says that, the sex with Roy is good. Roy looks cute. I'm here. I think we all want Kenya Moore to be, even if you do not like Kenya Moore, you want her to be happy. You were happy when she got married. You were happy when she had Brooklyn. I think people, no matter how cruel people are online, I have to say the general public are sweet human beings. And they want to see Kenya happy. All right? No matter how they feel about her, they want to see her happy. So I do want to see this situation with Roy work out. I'll tell you this, though. Kenya was away last weekend with Candy celebrating her birthday. And Roy was, they were in Turks and Caicos. Roy owns a restaurant there. And they were dancing. Roy and her are still going on. Ooh, Danielle says Roy is known for liking the girls with melanin. Why is this all the way in my face? Okay. I mean, look, here's the thing. Usually if someone dates black, it's not their first time. You know what I mean? If they're dating a black person, usually they have a history. It's not their first. Okay. I wanted to work out for her, but this trip doesn't work out for her that much. This trip is falling apart. Well, we find out in this first scene as well that Monyetta, because, we only knew Monyetta from reality TV and her relationship with Neo. But apparently she's a dancer. She had a dance troupe that danced with people like Prince. Okay, how are we feeling about Monyetta? Well, I feel like Monyetta is definitely working overtime this season because we all called her boring last season. I mean, it was true, though. It's me. Hi, I'm the problem. It's me. Just saying. You know what's shady. We are. It is not. Okay, maybe is it Kempire After Dark? Well, you know what? Women do that. Look, I listen to the Straight podcast. The guys talk about it. Women are out here eating butt. I mean, as long as it's clean.
Lies, the lie.
As long as it's clean and thoroughly clean. We'll get there. Don't rush me. Let's ease into it. Ease into it. Happy Sunday. Ew. No, and I'm not saying ew because of that. It's just that, look, I'm just thinking, what if it's not clean? Deborah says Kenya is a terrible host. We're going to talk about it because, we're straight shooters here. We're not team any. Deborah, calm down, Deborah. Scarlett, don't encourage me. Scarlett says, yes, Kempire After Dark. I have to get on Twitter this week and do a Kempire After Dark so we can talk about booties. It is Kempire After Dark. All right. Sidebar, guys. Summer House Martha's Vineyard is on right now as we speak. I just dropped a video talking about Bria Fleming. Apparently she was arrested in in Cannes, France. like wrongfully arrested, according to her. Some random woman accused her of robbing her in Zara, and the French police arrested her, stripped her of her stuff, and then let her go. Go check out that video after the live. I just posted it not too long ago. Mods, if we can post it in the chat, that'd be great. But back to this. Eating butt. No. We'll get back to that in a second. The other scene that I want to talk about is with Sanya Riches-Ross. I keep telling you guys this. Sanya Riches-Ross' family is far more interesting and entertaining to me than she is. But I will say this. I did laugh when she was talking about her brother-in-law, being the assistant, and she's like, who are they going to complain to? On HR. That made me laugh. Anyone else? I was like, okay, Sanya. Well, she's having this meeting with her sister and her mom because everyone in the family is involved in the Sanya Riches-Ross business. Some of y'all are really like hating on Sanya Riches-Ross's sister, saying that she's ungrateful. I don't see it like that. I see it as Sanya Riches-Ross is ungrateful. Because I think she wants her family close to her, which is nothing wrong with that. But I also think that she's the one that has created this environment where everyone is working for her. And her mom agreed. You saw what I saw in that confessional. In that confessional, literally, Sanya Riches-Ross's mom and sister, they get their own confessional. And sister said she's what did she say, selfish or self-centered or something to that effect. And the mom was like, yep. So if I'm not going to listen to her sister, I'm going to definitely listen to her mom. Someone said, I think the whole family's a mess. Hold on. Jenna says, I think the whole family. You think the whole family's a mess? I don't think the whole family's a mess. I really do think it's on Sanya. I think Sanya has been used to being in the spotlight, not only in the spotlight in the track and field, but in the spotlight of the family. You know what I mean? So everyone sort of caters to her. Literally, everyone works for her in the family. I don't know. I mean, I get it. Sometimes you can't trust anyone but your family in this business of stuff. Just in business in general, your family really is the only one you can trust, unless you are Latasha's mom. Oh, wait. Oh, wait, no, that one.
I am the fifth member. How about that?
I'm just saying. Unless you are Latasha's mother or Latasha. It's me. Hi. I'm the problem. It's me. I'm just saying. Cherie says they're living in her house. She can't be that self-centered. But we keep forgetting something. She asked them to move. The mom wants to live in Florida. They were building a life in Texas. They moved to Texas to help her in her career. They're living in her house by choice. Because why would they go buy or rent another house when you're asking me to come to Atlanta and help you build? You know what I mean? Jenna says, I am the fifth gold medal. I think people forget that element. And we can literally see it in this scene that Sanya wants her family around her. She wants them living there. Because I honestly believe the sister, like, her and Ross benefit from the family helping out, especially with Deuce. But Ross, and she throws Ross under the bus, Sanya, says that he's ready for the family to just to be gone. He's ready to just be them, which I don't blame him. You don't, like, you want to be able to walk around in your drawers. But look, it is a big house. But I also think Sanya loves her family, but I think it's more so at 11 o'clock at night, she can call her sister. Can you come pull up me here? Can you help with Lucy? I have to fly out. So, come on. Let me see what you guys say in the chat. Hold on. And shout out to everyone that became a member this evening. This is a members only live chat. We do this at least once a month. We're talking about the Real Housewives of Atlanta. But if you're part of the replay crew, as always, be sure to let us know how you, first of all, where you're watching from and how you would rate tonight's episode of Real Housewives of Atlanta and your thoughts. Danielle, thank you so much for the super chat. Danielle says, ain't nobody watching Ducey. He is a handful. But the family. Only the family can deal with him. Only the family can deal with him. Oh, Sanya. I do have to say, if I look over this episode, normally we at least I rewatch the episode twice. But tonight, because of the way it's set up, I only watched it once. I have to say, Sanya's stuff was actually more interesting to me than anything else that played out in this episode. Anyone else? I have to say, because it's new, it's different, it's fresh, it's something that we haven't seen before. And I believe it's real. I don't believe that it's some forced storyline like the baby. What happened with the baby? What happened with the baby? Sanya, what happened with the baby? But I do believe this story. But a lot of you saw their previous reality show and you said this was the same issue that they had back then. Well, it's new to us. It's new to us. Jenna says, Sanya would be better off separating business at this point and getting some hired help. I agree. And that's how I would run my business. Like I already learned a long time ago. I've always tried to give friends, family opportunities to do stuff with, and it just always falls apart. And I'm just like, you know what? Let me learn my lesson. I'm just going to get good help that there is this separation and that no one will be offended in the future. Just saying. Oh, Ange says, haven't watched the episode yet, just here for the vibes. I love that. Happy Memorial Day for anyone that's celebrating here in the United States. I know outside the United States, you guys are like, what the hell are you talking about? It's all right. Alex says, nothing happened. The season ended. That's what happens. In regards to Sanya's baby. Okay. Jen says, how old is Sanya again? I don't blame her for her not, wanting to not have another. Yeah, I don't, but I really feel like that was just a storyline. Maybe. All right, now let's talk about the mess. Let's talk about the mess. Marlo. Look. Here's the thing. I have to say, Marlo had a couple of funny one-liners this episode. However, this scene where she's doing, first of all, the Halloween pictures that she's done over the years, great. Even this one that she just did with the boys. Her sister comes and they're rehashing. Candy's not even in the episode. Candy's not even in this episode. And Marlo brings her up again because apparently Marlo feels as if Candy's response to her nephew passing away was not the response that she wanted. She wanted Candy to do more. Now she's working on to getting her record expunged so she can go get a pow 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 because she just had the burglary. So she wants to get her record expunged. At one point, she says, "You think that Candy would offer to help me get my record expunged?" But they love to just bring it up. They love to always bring it up. I just don't understand why Marlo and her misery. It's almost turning into Latasha. You know how Latasha always blames Candy? That is Marlo. So now she didn't like Candy's response. Courtney shows up. Look, Courtney. Because she said she's the Olivia Pope. Girl, if you don't go sit down. She's like, well, you know what I would do? I would have said, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry that happened. Look, here's the thing. When you are going back and forth on text messages can sound cold. That's why it's always better to have an actual conversation versus text messages. Okay? So these were the text messages. Okay? I can look. And for those that are wondering if Candy's going to get paid for not being in this week's episode, yes, she will. Not everyone's contract is the same. Oh, you know what I was just seeing online? People were talking about Candy and her businesses, and Bravo getting a percentage. Well, it's been confirmed that Bravo does not get a percentage of her restaurants. They don't. And I had to be in the comment section. I was like, people forget that with business and contracts, it's all how you negotiate it. Some of these housewives probably don't have the best teams, and they're just like, whatever. They have no bargaining. They're like, whatever. No, Candy could be like, I have millions of followers on Instagram, and look, it's all about your teens. So Candy, don't worry for Candy. I'm sure she was paid for this episode. Candace says Tasha and Marlo are in cahoots. I wouldn't be surprised. Shady Millennial says Courtney, a crisis manager. She couldn't even get out of the faux crisis she made up with Candy in episode 1. Yeah. I wouldn't go to her, to be honest with you. I wouldn't. So Marla wants to get her record expunged so that she can own a pow pow pow. Okay. I don't know how it went from her talking about her own personal story to making it about Candy and Candy not doing enough and Candy not being there for her, Candy not sending a gift basket. If you had these issues with Candy, why didn't you bring these up when it happened? Because remember, her nephew was killed a few years ago. And he wasn't working for Candy at the time. And I believe Candy speak on it, she was going to address that, but she didn't go live, so here we are. We'll just have to talk about it at another time. But do you think that I'm going to believe Marlo? Because we've seen Marlo lie and misconstrue things. Producers, okay. I'm going to just jump around. Producers, do the producers have their hands all the way up Marlo's you know what? Because it's clear that they've set her on a path in order for her to keep her job this season. Because we find out later through Kenya, because Drew calls Kenya and tells her about what happened at the end of last week's episode in regards to Marlo yelling and being aggressive towards her. And the producers show us right before Marlo stands up and gets aggressive. We literally see, I don't know who this guy is. I don't know if he's a part of the crew or production. He literally, it's like he goes to grab Marlo so that because he doesn't know what she's going to do. So she was over Drew. But they don't show that part. They show the part when Marlo's sitting down. And I'm like, keep playing the video because Marlo does jump up and then yells and screams at poor Drew. Whoa, 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 Drew. Wait, Drew was not in this episode either. I don't know. Drew may not be that bright. She might not get paid for this episode, y'all. She's missing a lot of episodes this season. Drew. I mean, she did one little confessional. Deborah says that Marlo does not need a pow, pow, pow. No, she doesn't. But she's in Georgia, you know? But she's going to try and get it expunged. She also talked about, because you know the lady that she did the thing to the face thing, and you know that lady ended up, you know what happened. Well, she said that didn't happen until years later. Really distancing herself from her being the reason. Look, we don't know if she was the reason or not. Okay. So Marlo has this photo shoot. The photo shoot comes out great. Courtney's there. They're talking about Candy, blah, 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 blah. Okay. Here's the thing, though. Before we move on from that, Courtney, because you know Courtney and Candy had their things. And when Marlo is talking about the incidents happening at Candy's restaurant, she makes it seem as if Candy's restaurant is like she's having pow, pow, pows all the time at the restaurant. Okay? Then Courtney says, because you know what Courtney said before about Candy in regards to her, you know, the hood came out. She said, maybe that's the culture she creates. So she's leaning in on Candy being ghetto and Candy bringing the ghetto. When did Candy become ghetto? Is that a new narrative that people are trying to spin? I never looked at Candy as ghetto. Look, ghetto. Is she ghetto? Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe y'all view her ghetto. Country, I can see. But ghetto? Okay. We got to remember, Candy's been rich the good majority of her life. Just saying. Alex says Courtney gets on my nerves. Carmen says Kempire's facial expressions are everything. I don't even know I'm doing it, y'all. People have told me that for years. Thank you, Jenna. Thank you for liking the video. All right, y'all. So back to this. back to this. So Courtney says that maybe it's the culture she creates. So you know that scene where we were like, is she getting a sonogram? Like a bit for a baby, Sheree. So Sheree goes because she said, she's having fibroid issues. It's causing her not, she's uncomfortable and it's affecting her sex life with Martell. And then I was like, we know that they're not having sex. We literally were just talking about this earlier today on Love and Marriage Huntsville. Our recap, where he was like, they've known each other for 8 months, but they haven't had sex. Okay. So she's like, he has BDE energy. He doesn't. And she's like, two of my favorite, because she won't be able to work out and she won't be able to have sex. She's like, two of my favorite things. First of all, only thing I see you doing right now, Sheree, is working out. I don't know about the other. So she goes to the doctor, and the doctor's, which I think is an important thing because fibroids does affect a lot of Black women. So I feel like this is a necessary scene, but it felt, by the end of it, it felt like just the scene. Because she's like, oh, well, I'm going to get a second opinion. I was like, wait a minute. So you're not going to... No, mind your business. It felt like a scene by the end of it. It was like, oh, wait. And I'm a big advocate for, yes, get a second opinion. But it felt like this is your doctor. This is someone you trust. You've been having these issues. I was thinking maybe the next step, we're going to actually do whatever the doctor recommends. And she's like, well, I'm going to go home and eat some Lay's chips and then get back to you. Sidebar, the doctor makes a joke while she's doing the sonogram. Oh, is there a baby in here? If y'all don't get out my face with this. Just saying. Jenna says, just as bad as Jizzy would be a good teaching moment, but just for TV, annoying. Yeah, because these are real things that are happening to people. And now I really wonder, does she have fibroids at all? Shady says, but when Sheree says she's too busy, especially with She by Sheree, to have surgery, what exactly is she doing? You know what she's doing. Eating chips, looking at a website that's down. And then not talking to Martell or having sex with Martell. Ooh, Miss Bernice says, just finished Summer House, Martha's Vineyard, Kempire. It's so good. Stay tuned for my recap, y'all. Stay tuned. All right. Mario says, that's how I felt about that joke too, Kempire. Wonk, wonk. All right. Deborah says, the doctor said, have you been trying? Sheree has not been doing any of that stuff. I am so done with these people. I really am. Fallon says a true crossover would have been to see one of the doctors from Married to Medicine. It would have seemed real. Like Dr. Jackie. But here's the thing. Sheree probably can't afford Dr. Jackie. She probably can't afford Dr. Jackie. Oh, anyways, guys, we're going to move on from there. So we have that scene that Sanya has a photo shoot. Her sister calls out sick. Because she's through with her. And that's when we find out her sister's husband, her brother-in-law, has quit. He doesn't want to work anymore. The mom says, was it me? I don't know what the mom was doing to the poor man. And apparently he wasn't responding to emails like towards the end. Like he was starting to get he was over it. Here's the thing though, when we get that scene earlier in the episode when Sanya calls him and she's running down the list, did you do this, do that? Like that seems so micromanaging. Doesn't it? Like, why are you calling me? I'm trying to get these things done. Why are you calling me just to have this scene? Well, apparently he's like, I can't work with you. I'm done. It was a bad idea from jump. So Sanya says that she wants the family to grow together. So her big thing right now is she doesn't want the family to leave. She wants the family to be together. The father is there and he's like, I'll help you any way that it can. But Sanya's like, you can't even reply to emails. That's like my dad trying to assist me. No, you can maybe drive me somewhere, but that's about it. You're not going to answer emails. You're not going to interact with certain vendors or sponsors and things like that. No. Sanya says overworked and underpaid. Jenna says probably because he don't do what he's supposed to. Ooh. I don't know, y'all. To me, though, that was probably the most interesting parts of the episode. But let's get into the road trip to Alabama. So everyone's arriving. Candy's not there. Candy's at an event. I think that was in LA. And Drew is not feeling well. But apparently a few people in this sprinter are not feeling well. Kenya's ready to leave Marlo because Marlo was late. Marlo's and Courtney are put into the luggage area while the ladies are in first class in this sprinter. So this is where the booty conversation comes up. And apparently Kenya told Sheree about her doing this, and Sheree put it out there. See, this is where you're going to learn, Kenya. Sheree is not your friend. You're going to see it this season. You're going to see all of this in the confessionals. Sheree has not been your friend. I really believe that Kenya has been trying to be Sheree's friend, and Sheree has not tried to be her friend. She's been shading her. She's been commiserating with the other ladies about Kenya. She's not your friend. And now she's sharing your deep, dark secret. Look, deep, dark secret. Kempire After Dark. Sharing your deep, dark secret. Why do I keep saying that? So this conversation comes up about eating booty. And then Sonya's like, not Miss USA eating booty. Well, according to Kenya, this happened in her 20s. She didn't say who it was. Who do you think it was? She's been connected to so many guys over, I mean, when I say connected, I mean like there were rumors like, oh, she was dating this one or that one. Who do you think it was? I mean, look. But at least she owned it. At least she owned it. She could have denied it. She didn't. Look, she didn't. Damn, Kenya. Sheree ain't your friend. I keep telling you. So she did that in her 20s. All right. So the ladies go from the sprinter to the practice hall. They're going to learn how to be majorettes, but Kenya turns this into a competition. And her and Monyetta go out to go practice their photos. They're taking photos and stuff like that. And the ladies are learning how to be majorettes. And Kenya, when they finally come back in to see everyone do the routine, I was actually impressed with Sanya. I was like, okay, Sanya. I actually think Sanya should have won. I think she should have won. Not Sheree. Sheree was the worst. And I get it, Kenya. You do not like Marlo, but then I would have given it to Sanya. But Kenya thinks that she has a friendship with Sheree. You know what, Brooklyn Star? Brooklyn said, so Kenya was a pioneer on eating. You know what? Wait a second. Ew. That's how she got Mark. Wink, wink, nose ring. And when she stopped, Mark left. I mean, you never know. No judgment. There's nothing wrong with what you want to do in the bedroom. Okay? To each their own. Yes, Shady says, I learned a new term tonight, bucking. So they had a buck off. That's what the buck off was. I believe Sanya should have won. In my humble opinion, I think Sanya should have won. Danielle says yes, Sanya should have won. Not Sheree, maybe Marlo. For me, it would have been between Marlo and Sanya, in my opinion. I'm not gonna lie though, when Marlo referred to Monyetta as Kenya's emotional support animal, Marlo had a few moments in this episode. Straight shooter, pow, 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 pow. She had a few moments in this episode. I was like, oh gosh, she's stupid. I can't stand her. Just saying. Miss Brooklyn Star says still Team Twirl. It's okay. It's all right. Deborah says Sanya or Marlo should have won. But I actually thought Sanya did better than Marlo too. All right. And shout out to all of you that are becoming members of the channel. And guys, if you would like to become a member, head on over to teamkempire.com/join. Or if you're watching from your computer, click the join button under the video. But also hit the like button. We're going to take some callers in just a few minutes. We have over 1,000 people in the building. Let's get to 400 likes and I'll drop the call-in link for you guys to call in and share your thoughts. Liking the video is an easy and free way of supporting the channel. And if you missed it, guys, we posted 2 other videos today. Our recap of Bell Collective and Love and Marriage Huntsville from earlier today, where I was talking about what Carlos King was saying about RHOA, but his show is not doing so well either. But after this week, I'm sure he's going to have a lot to say about this episode because it really wasn't that great. I really probably would rate this episode a 6. Probably a 6. Brooklyn Star says, I'm looking forward to Moneta activating this season. And she looks like she's going to get activated next week because Marlo slams the door in her face. All right. Let's talk about when Courtney calls Bryce. You guys call Courtney a clout chaser. It's becoming more and more apparent that she's becoming that she is a clout chaser. Because why is she FaceTiming with Bryce? She did say her relationship status is complicated. She's dated this man for on and off for 20 years, but they're not together right now. And they have a child together. And apparently, Kenya did a movie with Bryce years ago. And when he's on FaceTime, she was like, when they were asked, did you date him back in the 90s? And all Kenya said, he was a very fine man back in the 90s. I guess alluding that he's not so fine now. Y'all better leave this man alone. Because some of y'all, not Kenya, but some of y'all out here judging this man and y'all look like he doesn't look that bad. Like we know some people that just, especially in this industry, they were fine back in the day and now they're just like, ooh. I don't think Bryce is looking that bad. Y'all can leave Bryce alone. Some of y'all didn't even look as good as Bryce did back in the 90s. So, can we talk? Just saying. But then Kenya and Marlo get into it at this. First of all, the food looked good. Sweet Pea says they have a whole 24-year-old daughter together. Adult. Okay. Danielle says the way that Kenya shaded Bryce. I know. Danielle, thank you so much for the super chat as well. Danielle says it's time for Sanya to grow up and figure out how to be a wife and a parent on her own. Get a nanny. Okay, Danielle. I mean, it seems like that. She does seem a little stunted in her growth when it comes to being like a parent on her own, separate from her family. Just saying. So Kenya and Marlo go at it at this moment because Kenya's trying to explain what Drew told her about Marlo's behavior, but Marlo doesn't want that out there. Again, this is where I feel like the producers are trying to paint a different narrative. But if you watch that scene from last week, Marlo did stand over Drew. Mind you, Marlo's tall. Drew is short. And Marlo was like, just like this with her. And I was like, oh. But that's not what they showed this week. They were like, Marlo standing. Nope, Marlo's sitting. Keep playing the video. Keep playing her reaction. So much so, one of the crew almost had to grab Marlo because they thought that she was going to touch Drew. Just saying. But Marlo and Kenya start to go at it because Kenya feels like Marlo's not letting her finish her sentence. I don't care. There's something about Marlo and Kenya's back and forth that's not interesting, that's not entertaining. It's actually just like, it's cringy. It's cringy. It's like, I don't like this. It's different like when Marlo, no, it's different when Kenya and like a Nene would fight. You would be like, oh. Or even when Sheree and Kenya would fight. Something about Marlo and Kenya's fights just go to, because I really believe they do not like each other. They do not like each other. All right. So from there, the ladies head back to the hotel to get ready for this charity event. Monietta comes down in this jumpsuit. Not even jumpsuit. I don't know what that was. First of all, it wasn't that cute, Monietta. I'm sorry. Look, I'm sorry, Monietta. It wasn't a cute outfit. But this was supposed to be a charity event. But here's the thing, Kenya. You're talking about how these people are dressed, and you didn't even give them a heads up about the charity event. So you can't be mad if they don't have an outfit. However, everyone else did, Monietta. Just saying. But it feels like Kenya is trying to produce a moment. Because it feels like, it's like, Kenya, why can't you tell these people that you're doing something? Why don't you just tell them we're going to have a charity event to attend? But let's be honest, once they get to the charity event, the charity event's not charity eventing. The way the producers are like, look at what everyone's wearing. There is no sit down tables. It's like cocktail hour. Sanya and Marlo got left, so they end up arriving, and they're like, what the hell are we attending? Kenya made this seem like it was going to be one way. It's another. Ooh. Ooh. A mess. A mess. Hey, let's be honest, though. When we talk about Kenya's events that she's thrown over the years, and we did before, we're straight shooters. Y'all remember, what was it, South Carolina? Or Bolo? Well, Candy saved that trip. Kenya, we got to work on your hosting. We got to work on this. Like, I want you to win. Like, you have such an air of, like, elegance about you, but then when we do a trip, it's like, it's me. Hi, I'm the problem. It's me. Come on. I need you to do better, girl. Look. Please. All right. So this charity event is not charity eventing. People are dressed the way they want to dress. Producers are telling Kenya they're kicking us out because you guys are taking too much attention from the charity. What is the charity? I don't remember what it was now. But they're being too distracting, and then they're getting kicked out. They're getting kicked out. Wendy says that Kenya's coming across as a cheap hostess. Well, let's talk about the rooms. Sheree, because she won the buck off, she was supposedly got a suite. Sheree goes in there. She's like, this is not a suite. And then Marlo's shading the little champagne bottles and things like that they received. Kenya, you've been on this show too long not to be able to throw a good girls trip. Either you get it together for this season and then hopefully you get another chance to throw one, or next season, you better go all out. Go all out. Please. Just saying. So the producers are like, we got to go. They don't want us here. Because you know what? When you're producing reality TV, they don't show you all the things that are happening behind the scenes. You don't see all the wires that are being dragged across the floor, the lights, the camera, the people can't even enjoy this event. This event. So the ladies end up leaving, going back to the hotel. Everyone's like, where's Kenya? Where's Kenya? They show the clip from when Kenya's last trip that she hosted, and she was up in the room, and Candy had to get upset with her because she was like, what's going on? Where are you? Come down. And she was with Brooklyn. So Kenya's in her room, and everyone piles in front of Kenya's door, and they start knocking. And then Marlo kicks the door multiple times. Look, it's one thing to be upset and you want her to engage with the group, or you want to produce a moment. But you probably, look, even we thought, it was like, well, maybe Brooklyn's in the room with her. So you banging on the door, you know how traumatizing that could be for a child? Just think about that. You're not in your normal environment and someone's banging on the door. And then Kenya comes out screaming, what is wrong with you? First of all, Marlo wasn't the only one that kicked that door. Sheree did. Sanya knocked on the door. It gets ugly next week because Marlo's going off. She tries to close the door on Moneta. Moneta's like, from what we hear, there's supposed to be more stuff between Moneta and Marlo this season. I don't know how I'm feeling though about this. This is episode 4. Oof. Mackenzie says kicking the door was extreme. It was like I feel like that would be traumatized. Like someone kicked my door right now, I would be like, oh shoot. You wouldn't you? Especially if you're at a hotel. That would probably be even more traumatizing. At a hotel, you're not in your normal environment. Alex says, so you said that before, Alex. He said Sonya pounded the door. She did not. Oh, come on, Ms. Burgos. So I would snatch the fella Hampton up so quick. See, we are not encouraging that type of behavior, okay? All right, guys, if you haven't already, be sure to like the video. It's an easy and free way of supporting the channel. We have over 1,200 people. We appreciate you guys. I know you probably just coming in from a barbecue or you're just rolling over because you don't have to work tomorrow. I appreciate you taking some time out of your day to be with us here to talk about some housewife stuff. So let me get into some callers. Dewan, where have you been? I haven't seen Dewan in forever. Dewan said, here come Dewan. He says, traumatic, really? Can you leave your daughter home? Well, here's the thing. No matter if you feel like that's the case, the daughter is there. You know the daughter is there. I still wouldn't do that, even if I don't like the fact that she brings her daughter with her because it's a girls' trip. All right, members, I'm going to drop the call-in link for you on the community tab first. So let me just do that. Hold on. Keep liking the video, guys. Keep liking the video. This is my 3rd video of the day, and it's a Sunday. Look, and it's a Sunday. Just saying. Look, just saying. Working hard. And shout out to everyone watching on Twitch, Twitter, and on Facebook. I appreciate you guys. All right. Senior Royals, I'm dropping the call-in link first for you. All right. Royal Court members, I'm dropping the call-in link next for you. And Team Kempire members, I'm going to drop the call-in link next for you. All right. Let's get to 500 likes, guys. We're almost there. Dewan, thank you so much for becoming a member. We appreciate you because you know Dewan wants to call in. A mess. All right, so if you're a member of the channel, I've dropped the call link on the community tab here on YouTube. Shout out to everyone watching. I appreciate you. Don't forget, a new episode of our podcast, exclusive episode of our podcast, came out just a couple of days ago where I'm talking about the legendary Tina Turner and my connection to her. So be sure to check that out. Kempire Radio on your favorite podcast platform. And don't forget to rate us a 5 because it matters. I'm trying to get over 1,000 ratings on Apple Podcasts. So please help us do that as well. All right. But also rate us on your favorite podcast platform like Spotify, Twitch, Twitter, all the Twitter. No. Head on over to KempireRadio.com for more details. Okay. All right. Let me say thank you. Nailsworth, thank you so much for the super chat. She says, Kenya doesn't host well at all. And I'll never forget when she hosted that trip and she ate food in front of everyone. That was the South Carolina trip. That was so rude and nasty. I really want her to redeem herself. But here's the thing. Word on the street is the producers only give you like $1,000 if you're hosting at something. The rest is up to you. And remember, she shaded Sanya Richards-Ross for her hosting dry Jamaican baddies. But then we got to think like, Kenya, you really have not hosted an event where people are like, yes, this is fantastic. This went well and blah, 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 blah. I want that for you, but girl, that's not it. All right, let's get to some callers, guys. We're almost at 500 likes. I'll drop the call-in link for the general audience in just a second. Yes, the crab cakes. That's what she was eating, the crab cakes in front of everybody. And they're like, are you gonna give me some? All right, let me switch this out. Let me switch to our callers. And let me put up my okay. Callers, members, you're going to get 2 minutes to share your thoughts just because it's late. Okay. All right. And general audience, you'll get a minute to share your thoughts on the Real Housewives of Atlanta. But members, Danielle's backstage first, so we're going to bring her up. What's going on, Danielle?
Okay, so I have to know some goodness gracious. Now I feel like I'm being rushed. Okay, so Sonya's sister was her assistant back on their show. She did her hair and she was the assistant. So the sister and the brother-in-law already know how Sonya is. Like, I just feel like they need to go get real jobs at this point and stop trying to rely. I mean, come on, real talk. Stop trying. Like, because remember, Sonya said that the brother-in-law wanted to get into real estate. So she was like, "What waiting for him to get in real estate is to be my assistant. He could be out with me and meet high-end celebrities and stuff." But we ain't seen him do no real estate yet. All we see is her bossing him around. And Sonya is the Olympian and the meal ticket for the family. So she is spoiled. She needs to grow up, and they just need to go get some real jobs. Okay, so y'all listen to me on Marlo. I didn't agree with Marlo in that reaction because it just didn't make sense. How? Because it almost sounds like Marlo wants employers to send ex-employees who pass away some kind of condolences flower or something. That doesn't even make sense. If you're no longer my employee, you're not my employee, and I don't even address you. However, the fact that Marlo worked with Candy for 10 seasons and then you find out, oh, by the way, my nephew passed away. He was actually one of your chefs previously, just a few months ago. I can kind of see how Marlo like, well, just say something like acknowledge that my nephew worked for you. I work with you for the last 10 seasons of this show, and you don't even send a condolences card. But if you're going to give Candy that smoke for not sending anything, you got to send it to everyone else too. But it's slightly different because he did work for Candy at some point. So that's the little leeway I'm giving Marlo with that one. Just a little bit, because again, that's no, and Candy really opened the restaurants for her family and them. That's not like she comes in here and there. We see her when they had the show, but that's not like her thing. Her thing is music, writing, and everything else. She did that for her family. So Marlo, kick rocks. Kenya literally is the hostess with the most on a budget. Kenya's budget, I don't know. We need to do some research to find out if it's really this 2000 or not. But that whole thing with the hotel room, it falls back onto, and I get it. This time she was sick, but whenever she doesn't feel like being bothered, she goes back to her room. She says she has Brooklyn with her. She's using Brooklyn as her excuse. And even remember when Candy got on her about that for always bringing the baby around and trying to make that your reason for not wanting to work when you don't feel like you're having your way. We're gonna give you a little leeway on this one, Kenya, but you do have to step your game up with hosting.
Ooh. All right.
I mean, come on. Yeah.
Thanks,
Because for
Danielle.
real, think about it. She brought the cookie lady on there. She can bring other people on there to come cook, and they can promote their
Oh, you
own
want her to bring the
businesses.
cookie lady back to get them
No, man,
cookies?
she
All
brought the
right.
cookie lady on there trying to drag Tanya down. Toya,
Okay,
whatever
we
the
gotta
child's
go.
name
We
was.
gotta go. Alex, I'm gonna bring you up next. What's going on, Alex?
I can't believe I wasn't first. I can't believe it. I'm
You snooze,
surprised.
you
I'm really
lose.
surprised.
Now your time is starting.
Okay, bye. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna first start with Sanya. Sanya's family, I love her and her family. I feel like she's at her best with her family. It's way more interesting than Teresa and Melissa and their families. I'll tell you that much. Way, way better. Okay, so now to Marlo. Listen, literally that text that Candy sent her, that damn sorry to hear that. Ooh, am I allowed to say damn?
That's fine.
I don't know. Anyway, continue. That is being used as a meme right now. A actual meme to be like, I don't care. That's literally used as a meme right now. I feel like that was real. I don't know. It was just, even though things can come off cold in text, that was a little too cold for my liking. That was a little too cold.
Oh,
But
okay.
maybe I'm just real sensitive. I don't know. Anyway, Kenya, girl, you have been on the show how long? And you are doing this now. Really, you need to step up that hosting game. And she cannot judge people. She gave them how many hours notice in that van that there was going to be a charity event?
Yeah.
You have no room to talk, no room to judge if you just gave them notice. Like, that can't happen. Okay, now to the door. Listen, Sanya, Sheree, and Marlo pounded on that door. And she saw Marlo at that door and immediately assumed it was Marlo, which I would too. But it was not just them. And Sanya did not knock. Sanya, a knock is... Listen, I'm going to be quiet. A knock is... Sanya went...
You know what?
No, that is a pound.
Just to join in on her team.
I don't care. That's pound. That's pound. That's pound. And I feel like y'all love to villainize Marlo, which Marlo has done some bad things.
When you say
but come
y'all,
on,
you mean me?
Well, I mean, no, not you. Well, sometimes you, but mainly the chat. The chat does it a lot, and they say some real nasty things about Marlo. Come on, y'all. She's a human, and you sometimes chat. But you know what? I'm just gonna go on. I love you, Kempire. I'll talk to you later.
Thanks, Alex. Bye. Alex is the best. All right, we hit our goals. So I'm gonna drop the call link for the general audience. But members, our last member, Joe, will be the last member that we will give 2 minutes to. All right, so we have Brooklyn Star, we have Obi, we have Miss Bernice, we have Jenna, we have Dewan, and we have Joe. They will all get 2 minutes. Okay, let me bring up Miss Brooklyn Star. What's going on, Miss Brooklyn Star?
Hey, good evening, Kempire.
Good
How are
evening.
you?
How are you?
Good. So I wanted to say that I really never really liked Sanya's sister from the reality show, like prior, but I think Sanya hinders her family from their own personal growth because she bankrolled the sisters' hair business. She did all this for them in the past, and she kind of hindered them to like be attached to her. And now they can't function without her, and even the sister's husband. And I don't know if you noticed, he has 2 other children, and for him not to be working, I wonder how that plays into the situation. It's really weird. I think they need to be in 2 separate homes and let the parents retire in Florida with the rest of the Caribbean. Okay. Let them have peace. And also, Marlo is draining the show. Okay, it's a stretch to act like Candy's businesses are targeted for like gun violence. I think she's trying to put slander on this lady's business. Atlanta has a problem right now in and out of influential areas. It does not matter. It's happening at the BT, the supermarket, the gas station. The latest thing that happened was a person in the hospital with security unaliving people. Okay, like it is crazy right now in Atlanta, and to act like Candy is a target and she's bringing out energy, no, it's no. And I've had employers not recognize people or not going through a death or mourning. Like I don't know what she wants from Candy, but it is draining. Okay, nobody's giving her air, and all she does is talk about them. Like Candy, either she wants to date Candy or she wants to be Candy or she wants Candy to adopt her. It's
Not
very
adopt
weird.
her.
Something she wants Candy's life. I feel like she feels like it's owed to her or something, but it's very weird. But that's about it. But yeah, that's
Thank you.
about it, Kempire.
And just in time.
Hey, good
Bye.
night.
All right, we're going to bring up Obi next. What's going on, Obi?
Hey, Kempire.
Hey.
So basically, I think Sanya hired her brother-in-law because I think there's something about his record that makes him not being able to work. If I don't know if I heard something like that, because I feel like for her to actually hire him as her assistant, it must be something about him not being able to get a decent job, like for them to be able to be on their own. So I don't really think it's Sanya's fault in that arena. But what I was going to say about Sanya is I think she's a huge flip-flopper. Like I can't get with that. Whose side are you on? It's like she plays in people's faces and then she goes back and she tells another thing. The whole confrontation between Kenya and Courtney, I feel like was actually orchestrated by Sanya. And then when the girls are actually getting into the heat of it, she actually wants to leave the party because she's like, the party is for her husband. But yet you're running to the girls to actually tell the girls that Candy got into it with somebody. So you see, like, I just feel like she's so much of a flip-flopper. So in terms of Marlo, she was saying she wasn't aggressive. She was aggressive. She was standing over Drew. She just decided to leave that part out. I'm actually surprised that production didn't even show the part that they were supposed to show in the flashback. That was weird. But and for Kenya, I'm not cutting her any slack. What icks me is when folks try to come for other people in their own shortcomings. So Kenya has been on the show for how many years now? Stop coming for people's hosting skills when you're a bad host. And yes, this was actually very bad hosting. Bad look, Kenya. That's it. Bye.
Thanks, Obi. All right. Let me turn that off. Okay. Miss Bernice, I'm going to bring you up next. What's going on, Miss Bernice?
Hey, Kempire, how you doing?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm fine. You really serious that Bravo only give them $1,000 to do their own catering?
That's what I heard.
You know what I could do with $1,000 to cater a play? I will hook them up. They will have a pan of collard greens, a pan of macaroni and cheese. They're gonna have dressing. They're gonna have chicken.
Mm.
They're gonna have turkey. Come on now. Let's not go there. Okay, I digress. Woosah. But Marlo going from 0 to 100 is typical with her, and I'm tired of it because the way she kicked that door, like she was gonna kick it in,
Yeah.
if they wouldn't have stopped her, was totally terrifying. Because I'm sorry, you getting woke up out your sleep. That baby probably was asleep, and you banging on that door like that. You woke that child up.
Mm.
So the child is frantic, and when she said, "My child is in here," and she was like, "I don't care."
Yeah.
So you want somebody to have respect for you and your nephew, but you don't have no respect for somebody else's child.
Mm.
Really? That's what we doing nowadays. And Miss Flip Flopper, if your sister and your brother-in-law are miserable, let him go out there and get a 9 to 5 job, get his coin together, and move his family out. You said you want to go into real estate, but have you taken any real estate class? How you going about to get your license for real estate? You can't do this without a license. How many brokerage firms have you went to see if they got any intern programs or anything like that? You're not doing any of that.
Okay. All right, Miss Bernice.
And tomorrow for Martha's Vineyards. Oh yeah, it's gonna be good. You gotta watch it. You gotta watch it.
All right. Thank you, Miss Bernice. Take care.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye. Okay, we're gonna get to some more callers. Jenna, I'm gonna bring you up next. What's going on, Jenna?
Hey, everybody. Can you hear me okay?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Hey, yes, I can. Good evening to everybody.
Good evening.
Even the Team Swirl people who act like Kenya not just as crazy as Marla.
Oh.
That's right, I said it. Now, I'm talking real quiet because unlike Kenya, I'm not going to be screaming and hollering and being loud when my child is right here. So, no, I'm just being judgmental because honestly, I do think it was wrong for them to come to her door like that. And we already acknowledged that it was all of them, not just Marlo. I know, sweetie. I'm off the phone soon. But it's a holiday weekend, so she's up late. She had her regular nap time. I know, but like, I know. See, now I got to go because my supervisor needs me. So I was just gonna shade that real quick that I personally would not have screamed back at them like that. Like they would have heard from me and they would have known they needed to get away from my door, but I wouldn't have also screamed if in fact my child was already traumatized. For all we know, Brooklyn could have slept through that. But they would have heard from me, and I would have came to that door, but it would have been with a tight lip, like you better get away from this door. And then when they would have heard from me more later. So that's all I want to say. Also, I was one of the people in the chat that was saying Sanya's family is just as bad as her. They have a very bad codependent relationship with each other. They fostered her being spoiled, and now it's coming back to bite them because now they don't know how to stand on their own. And like somebody else said, they know who Sanya is by now. They could have not moved. But anyway, I'm gonna go watch Martha's Vineyard because Miss Bernie said it was good. Let me pay attention to my baby. Y'all have a good night.
Thank you, Jenna. Take care. Bye. Y'all keeping me childless. Woo! All right, we're gonna bring up Dewan next, guys. If you just joined us, we're talking about the Real Housewives of Atlanta's latest episode, tonight's episode. Be sure to like the video if you're part of the replay crew. Let us know how you would rate this episode, where you're watching from, and don't forget to like and subscribe. All right, let's bring up Dewan next. What's going on, Dewan?
Hey, what's up, Kempire? How you doing?
Not bad. How are you?
I'm well. I'm tired of Kenya bringing her daughter on trips. This is like the fourth one, and every time it's been a problem. At this point, you're egging on the problem. You're making it a problem. Candy's had to confront you. I think Portia said something at one point because she wanted to bring PJ, and then somebody else had just had the baby. I think I forget, one of Portia's friends had just had a baby and she wanted to bring her baby. Stop bringing your baby on a girls trip. It's not fun, and you're making it awkward. Was the door situation necessary? No, but everybody was knocking, and then they quickly turned it to Marlo. That was interesting. I am a Marlo stan, you know that, but she is making it hard. I'm talking about like back is hurting because I'm like, I can't keep doing this for you, Marlo, and I'm not going to, because when the whole nephew thing 2 years ago, and then even her mentioning she wanted Candy to do the expungement, I'm like, all right, girl, Now you even making it hard for me, you know. But yeah, this season's been good so far. Interesting, really quickly. Kenya's friend was on Twitter referencing Marlo as that lady, and I'm like, you had a 2-minute tennis cameo. Okay, Marlo is an OG, so I'm curious to see how their relationship plays out for the rest of the season too. But glad to be a member again, and I like this new time. So look forward to seeing you again.
Thanks, Dewan. Take care. Akila, was Akila that friend, Kenya friend? Ooh, Lord, she getting activated too. She's trying to get that peach for next season. She probably would have had a better time. She would probably been more entertaining than Marlo this season. Let's be honest. All right, let's bring Joe up next, guys. What's going on, Joe?
Not much. I think Kenya bringing her kid, I don't necessarily mind it since she doesn't really have a lot of support system. So she's got to do what she's got to do. With regards to Marlo, it's just another desperate attempt for her to be relevant on this season. Like, once there was that news about the shooting at Blaze, like, okay, well, there's this one other thing that I haven't brought up from the previous season, so let me bring up this other thing that could potentially be a pattern about Candy's establishments being targeted. It's so much of a stretch. Like, it's just really bad. I
Yeah.
did not I did not like it. And then I guess the third one that I was thinking, it's like when Sanya and Ross thought about moving to Atlanta, they must have thought that at some point Ross would have wanted for their family to just be alone at some point. But did they think about how they were going to do that, like seamlessly with the rest of the family that they're trying to bring together in Atlanta? It's like you can't just ask them to all come and then just decide, it's like, oh, yeah, we're gonna decide to live by ourselves now. Bye. Like, they've supported you and your family for such a long time. You must have had a plan to make sure that everybody else, once you're at that point, that you could actually support them transitioning out too. Or maybe you thought about just like building some sort of compound, like a lot of the Caribbean, families typically do with large families. But I don't know, just poor planning in general. Or
But also,
maybe
Sonya
Sonia
felt
was
like it was going to be 2 years versus the 1 year.
Yeah, or maybe maybe Sonya was also trying to delegate that transition to her. She's lazy. Who
Oh.
knows?
All right, Joe, thank you so much for calling in. All right, we're going to take these last couple of calls, guys. You're just joining us. We're talking about the Real Housewives of Atlanta. How would you rate the episode? What'd you think of the episode? What'd you do this weekend? Let me know in the comment section. All right. All right, Nell, I'm going to bring you up next. What's going on, Nell? You're muted
Can
now.
you hear me?
There you go. Yes.
Okay. So, only thing I'm gonna talk about is Kenya.
Okay.
I really used to like Kenya a lot, but like Kenya, I don't know. I feel like she is the type of person that will throw rocks and then hide her hand. Like she does stuff to people, but she doesn't expect them to do it back to her. Um, so I mean, that's the biggest thing. I do think that that was uncalled for. I don't understand why they will be banging on a grown woman's door. She doesn't want to interact with you. Just go about your business. Like just go, do something else. I guess assuming or whatever the situation may be. But as far as the hosting, I mean, Kenya is just not that girl. And for her to talk about Sonia, she was just talking about Sonia's hosting skills. Like, girl, she still had a better spread than you. So I mean, I don't really, you know what I mean? Like, okay, it might have been Party City, but at least she had Party City. Girl, you had Dollar General. So, but that's all I'm going to say. Have a good night.
You too. Bye now. All right. We're going to bring up Omar next. What's going on, Omar?
Hello, good evening.
Good evening. How are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing
Listen,
well.
I just have two things.
Okay.
So, have we not learned that Kenya is not a host? She co-hosted with Phaedra for that fundraiser back in the day, and then lunch, no lunch during COVID season, and now this. Um, The other thing that I'm enjoying this season is the fact that the cast is not stuck on one storyline. We have the Martell, then we had Courtney versus Candy, Marlo, and whoever at the time. So it's interesting. While it seems a little forced, but it's moving and it's progressing and it's not remaining stagnant. And that's it.
Okay. Thank you so much for calling in.
Yes.
Bye. All right. All right. Final thoughts, guys. Final thoughts. First of all, Danielle, thank you for being a member for 22 months. Shout out to all of our members that have been around for a long time. I appreciate the monthly support. It does help content creators like myself with your monthly support. Danielle says, let's be for real. If we're on a girls trip and you turn in early and the rest of us are going out, let's not act like we're not going to knock on your door to press you to come out and play. Here's the thing. You're right. Usually girls trips, though, that you're going out with people that you enjoy. Remember, Kenya said at the top of this, her road dogs, Candy and Drew, I guess Drew is a new friend. They're not there, especially Candy. So it's sort of like, I don't blame them. I don't blame her. I don't blame Kenya in that moment. She probably just like, I'm over these mother fathers. But I can see what you're saying, that you're gonna show up. You're going to be like, oh, come out and play, but they're not friends like that. They're not friends like that. And honestly, I'm sure we all feel like, yeah, we know where she is. And then everyone coming to the door, it's a little aggressive. We could have sent one person. Let's send her emotional support animal. Come on. Send Moneta. Go check on her or see what's happening. Instead of everybody at the door banging on the door, traumatizing the poor Brooklyn. Yeah, what are you doing backstage?
I forgot one thing, just real quick, if I already noticed this. So no, you're right, but the little free this little free token thing wouldn't let me put all that, because I was trying to put, they should have sent one person, and because of the dynamics of the friend group, air quotations, but I ran out of coins to do all that. But anyway, they're at Alabama, which is where College Hill Celebrity is filmed.
Yeah,
It's
right
the
now.
same thing that they're practicing, which is where Kenya's supposed to be part of the halftime show. And that's where Kiki and Tisha went to the basketball game the other day. So Sheree should have called Martell and they could have gone out and had some kind of fun. This all could have come full circle, but they didn't make it work.
Because it's not real.
But that's my point. I was being facetious. Bye-bye.
All right. Let me switch this out. Hold on, y'all. Guys, if you haven't already, we're almost at 700 likes. Liking the video, it's an easy and free way of supporting the channel. We have 1,300 people here. I know some of you are like, Kempire, you're live now? You're live now? Yes, we decided to do the live now. I will hopefully by tomorrow put out a recap of Summer House Martha's Vineyard. But I do appreciate all of you being here on the Sunday night. I know some of you are coming in from barbecues or still in the middle of a barbecue and you're watching. Hey to the family. Look, turn me up. Turn me up. Hey to the family. We were talking about eating booty. Oh, you didn't know I was going to say that. You didn't know I was going to say that. Anyways, guys, I hope you all are having a fantastic holiday weekend. Summer, Memorial Day, officially, that's when summer kicks off, right? Technically, the beaches open up. I feel like we are just getting spring weather here in New York City, and I'm here for it. I know when I was in London, everyone here was getting like 80 something degree weather. Like it was hot here in New York, and then I came back and it cooled off. I was like, yes, because I'm on spring weather. Anyways. Shout out to all of you guys for being members. We appreciate you guys supporting us on a monthly basis. Shout out to our King's Guards. We could not do this without them. Shout out to our sponsor this month. Yes. Our sponsor this month. Do I have the thing up here? Oh, I don't have it up here. I don't know why. Anyways, guys, our sponsor this month, roseforever.com. More information is available in the description. Use the discount code Kempire25 for $25 off of your order. Shout out to, look at those roses. I'm going to keep those suckers up there for the rest of the summer. You're going to be like, those roses still look healthy. Yeah, because they last you up to a year. And for the price and $25 off, more information is available in the description. Guys, thank you all for being here. Have a great night. I will see you all in the next video. Summer House, go check out the video that I just posted about Bria Fleming from Summer House. about her getting arrested, wrongfully arrested, according to her, in Cannes, France. The story is insane. Go check it out. I appreciate you all being here. I will see you all later. Let's get out of here.
I know you feel it in the nighttime, and you've given all your days while they were waiting on the right time. You went and made your wave. I don't need reasons to live. There's no reason to quit, it's all I know. So once again, I'm gone with the summer. Yeah. Gone with the summer. Once again, I'm gone with the summer. They be trying to count us out, we highly endowed. They must not know what's at stake, what we fighting about. This tradition to a wordsmith, the missile shooter. How my automatic sniper, I bet this'll do ya. I give reason and ether to all the line soldiers. I'm undefeated, my region remains on my shoulders. I've cried nights, that's only because of highlights. I find life in knowing I'm playing mine right. Wicked crimes from them wanna be crowned. Try to lead me to the deep where I might cunningly drown. At times I thought they got me where they wanted me now. But like the sun, I rise up when I don't wanna be down, and that's real. I know you feel it in the nighttime, and you've given all your days while they were waiting on the right time. You went and made your wave. I don't need reasons to live. There's no reason to quit, it's all I know. So once again, I'm gone with the summer. Yeah. Gone with the summer. They ain't never been eye to eye with Satan in the broad daylight. Gone left while they all sway right. A true maverick, unbothered by what y'all made right. A naysayer slayer, I'm filleting all daylight. Yeah, we in that upside down, I manage not to sink. They keep our eyes wide shut, I manage not to blink. Another decade or maybe they not faking. Maybe it's more to it, maybe we got taken advantage of. Either way, the damage is done. The bottom feeders get to eat all them glamorous crumbs. Where all them seekers of truth, the speakers of the youth. We come and go with the summers, keep believing in you. I know you feel it in the nighttime, and you've given all your days while they were waiting on the right time. You went and made your wave. I don't need reasons to live. There's no reason to quit, it's all I know. So once again, I'm gone with the summer. Yeah. Gone with the summer. Yeah, yeah. Once again, I'm gone with the summer. Follow my lead, just watch your shoes.